Hello and welcome to the fourth video in my series. And in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about my martial arts background, how much training I do have, and which senseis taught me what. So I started Isshinryu Karate in, I think, 1992, right after Hurricane Andrew hit. I think that's right. And how I got started was on a bet from one of my cousins because my brother, my older brother, myself, my cousin Stephen, and one of my best friends, Josh Earhart, were all basically having an round robin tournament to see who could beat one another up. And my brother and I had no real martial arts training. Josh was a blue belt in Taekwondo, and unbeknownst to us, to any of us, Stephen was then a light green belt in Isshinryu Karate. Well, Stephen won all three of his fights against us pretty easily. And after he watched us beat one another up, he laughed at how bad we were at fighting him. And then he told us, I got a light green belt in Isshinryu Karate. I've been studying karate under Michael Storms for about a year and a half or so. And he's like, y'all don't stand much of a chance against me. So after that, my older brother and I got enrolled in Michael Storm's Karate USA dojo, and we were there for about a year and a half before we eventually had to quit for private reasons. But that was my first year and a half and how I got started in Isshinryu Karate. Now, Michael Storms was a then third and eventually fourth degree black belt, and most of our instruction actually came from Sensei Andre Pierre, who was a second degree black belt studying under Michael Storms. But Michael taught at least one out of every three classes that we went to. But Andre Pierre honestly did most of the teaching at the Hammond location back then. And then my brother and I had to quit for a while. And then around 1996, my sister and I started taking instruction from Mark Myers, who was then a third degree and promoted to fourth degree black belt, and his wife, Sherry Myers, who was a third degree and promoted to fourth degree black belt eventually during that instruction. And we were students under Mark Myers for about 4.5 years. So altogether, I have about 6 years worth of Isshinryu Karate training. And in course, Isshinryu is founded on the principle of absorbing the best of all styles to make one perfect style, although no style is going to be perfect. But that's the goal anyway. So we do cross-train in jiu-jitsu. We do cross-train in judo. We do cross-train in kobudo, kenpo, jiu-jitsu, both Japanese and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I have trained under Sensei Professor Raphael Gracie, third-degree black belt in Gracie-style jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I started out as a brown belt because he allowed me to wear my brown belt to class. I never got promoted in the class, so I always lined up with the white belts, but I could actually tap out some of his black belts and most of the people in every other rank in the class. So, but I never, as just to be respectful, I never lined up above white belt in his class, even though he let me wear my Isshinryu brown belt to class, but he never promoted me to black belt in there. I mean, I would have, like, there were some black belts that I had no chance against in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And, but I didn't start studying under him until just a few years ago, long after I had become really sick. So that's why I probably couldn't beat a black belt simply because I wasn't as strong as them. But I did actually tap out a couple of his first and second degree black belts a time or two, but on average they beat me. On the ground, not standing up. Standing up, I could toast anybody in his dojo. But on the ground, they would beat me. Now, so anyway, that's I think all of my martial arts training. Of course, all of the basic weapons and everything else in Isshinryu. Now, I want to teach something in this video. We do different types of things. Worst comes to worst, you can eye gouge your opponent. So we do actually have. What's that?
Sit down and give me a cigarette.
Man, I'm in the middle of making a defense video. Give me a minute. All right. So worst comes to worst, you can eye gouge your opponent. So, but like, an eye gouge doesn't always work against everybody, but especially if you don't do it correctly. But I think a 5-finger eye gouge is better than the comical 2-finger eye gouge, because you're still going to lead with your 2 strongest fingers. But if you throw all 5 fingers out there, you have 1, 2, 3 extra chances of hitting one of their eyes, right? But you're trying to leading with your 2 strongest fingers, and you're just spreading out. And of course, all of our hand strikes, we throw the whole body into it. So, some typical injuries that the evil attacker ends up with when an Isshinryu student defends himself in a real street self-defense situation include some injuries that are in all martial arts styles: broken neck, uh, broken orbital bone around the eye socket, gouged eyes, broken nose leading to brain hemorrhaging, broken jaw, broken collarbone, dislocated shoulder, broken radius or ulna, broken fingers or wrist, uh, pretty much destroyed bicep muscle, uh, internal damage to vital targets on the body. That's the 6th purpose of kata. Uh, you can have ruptured kidney, ruptured spleen, ruptured stomach for left side of the body attacks, ruptured liver on the right side, broken sternum, um, broken ribs, generally broken or dislocated knee, and broken bones in the foot. Uh, that's typically what we're looking to inflict on our attacker in a self-defense situation, depending on how many attackers there are. As I said, if there's 2 or more attackers, you escalate force to instantaneous destructive force. If there's only 1 attacker, you use minimal force, because we're not looking to maim somebody unnecessarily. But that's going to be the end of this video, and I do promise I'm going to have an assistant eventually.